Hello, hello, everyone. Misha Safran here, and you are here for our 48th podcast. I don't know if you call it a vlog because it's visual too, but it's the 48th one, and this is Passing Joy Around the World. And today we're going to have Connie Knudson. She is a Feng Shui Consultant, and I'm going to introduce you to her shortly. Just a reminder, Misha Safran, I'm an academic life coach, and I support parents and their preteens and teens who are struggling in school to gain confidence and learn how to be successful in their academics and in life. And I'm the founder of this podcast, Coexistence, Joy, Pain, and Truth. And today we're talking about the coexistence of joy, pain, and truth, about being a Feng Shui consultant with Connie Knudson behind door number one. There she is. Hello, Connie. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you for having me. This is great.
I'm delighted to have you, and I'm super excited to also share with everyone your bio. So I'm going to read that to everybody. So you all, Connie Knudson is a Feng Shui consultant who works with busy professional women to balance the energy flow within a home or building so that they can experience greater joy, support, and energy. She studies with the world-renowned Feng Shui Master, Diamond, to expand her own knowledge and wisdom within her practice. She does both time and space Feng Shui, which offers an individualized experience and allows a wonderful expansion. And I love that word, expansion. A wonderful expansion in energy, health, and financial flow. Connie offers both individual and group programs online and in person. Connie discovered Feng Shui in 2015 when she was searching for a way to become unblocked in her personal situation. As a result, she was able to retire, move to a better location, and improve her financial situation using the principles of Diamond Feng Shui. Wow, that is fabulous. Nice to meet you here. I mean, I know you, but nice to meet you here.
Nice to meet you again.
Exactly. So you actually do this in person too. Is that currently, or is that on hold because of the pandemic?
I haven't in a while, but if somebody wanted me to, I could do it. I'm mostly doing it online or distance. Mm-hmm. You know, the online, I have online programs, and then I'm right now doing a distant Feng Shui for some people in Arizona. And,
wonderful. Okay.
It doesn't, being present is not necessary, although I do like it because then I can see clearly where things are, but they can also show me. They can show me with their camera.
Right, absolutely. And so where are you located? In what state or country?
I am in Albuquerque, New Mexico, United States.
United States. Okay, wonderful. So before we get talking about the topic of joys, pains, and truth about being a Feng Shui consultant, when you hear that whole idea of coexistence, joy, and pain, what comes up for you?
Well, it's a mix.
How about that?
It's a mix. Well, I have to say that Feng Shui really made a big difference in my life. I was introduced to the law of attraction, all the good things that can happen in life. I had a lot of health issues early on in life, so it was probably more pain than joy at first. And then I moved out on my own, and I was able to make more of my own decisions, and that was more leading me to the towards the joy. Struggling with asthma is very difficult. You get deprived of all kinds of normal experienes that everybody else has. So yeah, but the joy was when I can breathe.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm having a lot of joy. I recently opened up an Airbnb in my home.
Oh, how wonderful!
It is. You get to meet some amazing people, and it's a whole lot easier than teaching English. Let me tell you. I'm more fun. So.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, I'm really glad that you're here. And I know that for some people, well, for a lot of people, we have to go through that pain before we can reach the joy. And yet there's so many experiences where I think it's important that we allow ourselves to feel both at the same time if possible. I speak often about the death of my mom and how there's a lot of pain in her not being around. But at the same time, I can remember so much of what she brought me, the joy and the laughter and the silliness. And it hurts that she's gone, right? And so I'm curious, like, as you think about your journey and how you said you kind of had to get through that pain to feel the joy, do you remember ever having joy at all when you were going through that pain? And if not, it's okay too. I'm just curious.
Growing up was not, yeah, there was a lot of emotional pain as well as the health thing. Mm-hmm. I will say though that after I spent years in overseas teaching English, and for 18 years I was out of
where was that?
The United States. I was in Guatemala for 18 years, and for 12 years, and Honduras for 6 years. And I would say that was mostly joy. That was mostly joy because it introduced me to a whole different way that people see the world, and it's not just so linear. People were just so a lot easier to talk to. I mean, they were open to heart conversations, and they were not. That's what I loved about it. And traveling on the buses, I gave thanks that I'm so short because I fit right into the bus seats, and I didn't have to struggle like some of the taller people. They had to really struggle to be able to sit on in those seats. So that was fun.
Yeah.
And I'll also say that my journey to health and healing led me to become a health coach. I was a health coach before I became a Feng Shui consultant. I'm passionate about health, and so I took a year-long program in as a health coach, and I know over 100 different theories about health, and I was able to help one woman lose, I like to say release 100 pounds, and just because changing the way she ate. And it's, for me, the way I understand it, it's not necessary to kill yourself with the working out. And she was, already retired, and she did work out some, but the weight just kept coming off, and we just went on to natural food. So that was a joy. That was a joy. It was like, health has always been the number one thing for me. It brings me back to gratitude just for being here. Gratitude for being here. And I also lost both my parents, but my dad is the one that I miss the most. We recently had a cousin reunion, because we're all kind of in that age where most of our parents are gone, and so we got together, wanted to maintain the family connection, because our parents, I think, had more of a family connection than we do. My generation. I mean, but so we decided we're going to keep that up. So we had a cousin reunion. It was so much fun. It was so much fun, laughing and talking about the funny things that our parents and uncles and aunts did. And
that's really wonderful. So, when we were talking about what we might talk about today, you went through a few different things. Well, I could talk about the business factor. I could talk about, Feng Shui as a whole. I could talk about being a Feng Shui consultant. So today we picked the title of Joys, Pains, and Truth about being a Feng Shui consultant. So we could talk a little bit about that, but then there may be other things that we branch into, and that's fine. So what would you say are the pains of being a Feng Shui consultant? And let's just preface this by saying, what do you feel it would be the objective of sharing this with people? Maybe people who are trying to build their own business, maybe people who are trying to decide which consultant to hire. I mean, it could be all of that, right?
Well, one of the pains is finding the right clients. It's letting you into their home is a trust thing. So they have to be able to trust, because they're trusting you with what they have in their home. And so building that trust, I'd say, is very important. And it's not always easy, because you don't know how fast or slow to go. You have to kind of respect people wherever they're at.
Yeah.
Technology for me is another one. I mean, that's not easy for a lot of people, but yeah, technology can be frustrating, and it can be slow to build your tribe, finding the people who are open to energy. Because the way I work with both, I work with the law of attraction as well as Feng Shui. It is not just one thing. It's actually, you get a lot when you work with me. So it's the law of attraction. It's both time and space Feng Shui. And most books will focus on the space aspect of it. And time is a very dynamic thing. So I go into very detail which way your home is facing. Which way is your home facing? And there can be a good energy. There can be a good energy coming in your home, and that's the funnest part, is when I find that, and I say, oh, you can put a chime there, or you can put a bubbling fountain in this area. And to see them, just that's the fun part. Another hard part is that sometimes there's a less good energy coming into their home, and I have to find ways to mitigate that, and gentle ways to talk about that, because I don't want to discourage people. But the reality is, I mean, we live in a world full of energy, and energy flows in different directions. So for me, I want to know it all. I want to know what's coming to me, and I want to know if there's a storm coming. I want to go maybe go in a different door, or maybe do something different to make sure that I don't get hit by that storm. And not everybody's open to that. So because it might mean moving things that they don't want to move. And I mean, there's always a way to work something out, but some things I love it when there's a positive energy, and that's the most fun. Feng Shui is magical. That's another thing I love about Feng Shui, is that it's magical. You can't always explain why things are, but you just go with it and you try it, and like, oh, I feel totally different. I can give you an example.
Okay.
A recent example, because I recently opened up this Airbnb, and I decided to do it in the month of August. In the month of August, there was a positive energy in the west, and the activation was to place a little fountain in the west area of your home, and I did that, and within 24 hours, I had my first the Airbnb client sign up with me. So that was a confirmation, I guess. That was like, oh, awesome. Okay,
that's wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting. My partner and I are moving into a home. I'm in an Airbnb right now, actually. And we were discussing, we had our bed delivered, and we were discussing which way to put our bed. And I said, well, I looked it up and said, in Feng Shui, they say that you should have your head going to the north. But we don't have room in our room to turn the bed to the north. And so I think our heads are going to the south right now, but I don't know. Maybe it's the east, maybe it's the west. But we were looking it up, hoping to find, helpful information.
Well, there's no cookie cutter answer. And what could be right for you may not be right for someone else.
Oh, no. So for two people in one room, that's a problem.
Well, I would look at two things. I would look at which way your front door is facing, and And then if you have two different directions, the highest breadwinner should have the door that facing one of their good directions. But even more important, just to have a good energy coming in. That's even more important. And then the other person can have the good bed facing. So you kind of compromise a little bit. But everybody is born with 4 good directions.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know that. So you
aren't there only 4 directions? Oh no, but we have the combination.
Good directions, 4 good directions, and 4 not so good directions. So it's north, south, east, west, northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest.
Right. Okay.
And they can be any combination of those.
Okay.
So you can find your 4 good directions by downloading the Marie Diamond app, or I can look it up for you, but it's easier just to download an app on your phone, type in your date of birth, and it'll bring up your energy number. It'll bring up your 4 good directions, and that'll answer your question about which way. You'll probably have more than one choice, because it's not just a one thing. You might, and don't be afraid to do it. Like if it comes up like catty corner or something like that, some people don't like that. But I'd rather sleep in a way that I feel supported and energized.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so I had a house an apartment one time where my bed was in the oddest position.
But you felt good.
I felt good. Yeah. That's totally.
That's great.
That's totally fine for me. So, yeah.
And so we talked a lot about the pains of being in this kind of business, the technology, the distance, the challenge and sensitivity of the way people might respond to your suggestions, and that need to build trust. And I can see you're very passionate about it. So I imagine the list of joys with being a Feng Shui consultant are a lot larger than your list of pains. Would you like to share those with us?
Oh, well, yeah. It's first of all, it's fun. It's fun.
That's great.
And it is inspiring to be able to make a difference in somebody's life, to know that I am protecting them from many things. I mean, we don't always know what we're protecting from, but there's a way to protect against illnesses, to protect against potential conflicts in relationships. The year that the pandemic came out, we learned that that there was a negative energy in the East. And my teacher saw that it was starting in the East and coming to the West. And this was before it all hit. She could see that. And then after it hit, everybody could see that what she said was true. She sees energy. So, and then she told us that what we could do is put something green in the East, because East isn't always a good direction. I mean, there's some years that it's better, some years that you would be better to face a different direction. Like during the pandemic, was probably better not to have your head pointing there, have something green there, and it could be a large plant, lush plant that would green. Every color has a vibration. So I think that's fascinating. Every color has a vibration, and knowing what that vibration is and combining it with, what are my goals? Well, my goals are to attract more abundance, maybe. So what do I need to put in for that? And so I for this year, can I give a tip for this year?
Yeah, of course. I'm all ears. Hold on, let me get my notepad. Ready?
There's an abundance energy in the center of a home this year. So placing a bowl of gold coins, a full bowl. I'm going to show you mine. It's right here in the living room. It doesn't have to be this big, but mine is kind of big. That's right.
Oh.
Amazing. Let's see.
Yeah. Okay.
falling
So
out.
they don't have to be
Yeah,
real gold coins. Just they could be
no, I got these.
pretend
I got
gold.
these at a dollar store, and they're fake ones. You can make
Okay.
jewelry. I got these eggs. Sometimes I use
So
it
a
to make
bowl of gold
glasses.
coins or gold in
Gold-looking
the
things.
middle of the room.
This is an egg.
That's great.
The idea it's law of attraction. It's both law of attraction and feng shui together, because you're
Okay.
feeding your unconscious mind and saying, I am abundant.
Aha.
I'm already abundant. You're using that natural energy in the center to raise that. So
Okay.
it's awesome.
Yeah. I just want to just say out there to everybody who's listening, maybe if you'd like to just put in the chat. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, we do have somebody coming in from Washington State who's listening to us right now, watching us. So welcome. And I want to just, those of you who are listening, if you've ever had any experience with Feng Shui, or you're curious about Feng Shui, or you have a question about it, please put it in the chat and we will get to your question. I hope we can get to your question. So go ahead. Keep going, Connie. Keep going.
Oh, more joys, huh?
More joys. Yeah.
Well, just the chance to protect people and make a difference in their financial situation is wonderful, and it's exciting. But it's also very detailed. I mean, it's very detailed, but it's also energetic. And so for me, it doesn't feel tedious. It feels like, oh, this is energy. I'm putting these coins here, and it's going to raise my level.
Yeah.
And fountains do the same thing. Putting them in the right place will do the same thing, as I mentioned earlier. So for stressed out professional women, my focus is on reducing their stress and helping them set up an office so that they feel supported without working harder, because they're already working hard. So if they can just change, where their desk is facing, little things in their office that'll make them feel and facing a good direction for them. That's all part of reducing stress. It's not the whole thing, but it certainly helps to feel supported by your environment. It's almost like the environment is embracing you. And then another idea came to me, like what Marie Diamond says, and this is another thing that I love about Feng Shui. When you set it up, it's like, in your whole house, it's like getting your house to meditate for you. So you don't have to work so hard at meditating. I mean, not that that's hard, but you got to meditate too. Yeah. But still, setting it up so your house meditates for you. It's
and maybe even with you, right?
And with you, and it brings in at the same time. Some people put things in their environment that tell a different story from what they really want. They put up things on their walls that give an image of poverty. Oh, I've had that photo for years. I really like that. And unfortunately, let me give you an example. A woman who's looking for a love, if she has images of one person, a lonely woman or just one person in a photo, that's attracting saying to the universe, this is the way I like it. I want to be alone. When you put up images of two people together, then that's telling the universe, I want to be together with someone. And I can tell you a fun story with my teacher. I hope that's okay. I mean, bring in somebody else. It's not mine.
Oh yeah, of course. But you have permission to share her story, right?
Okay. Well, of course. I mean, she shares it all the time.
So yeah, no worries. Absolutely, it's welcome here.
One of her early clients was an artist, and he was a painter, and he liked to paint pictures. And he came to her and asking and saying, "Well, I really want to have I want to date a lot of women. I really want to go on a lot of dates." And so she said, she looked at what was on his walls, and she said, well, you have a lot. And all he was painting was women, but with their back to him and looking over their shoulder like that. Sexy, but they were like turning him away. And he could never get a date. And so she said, "Well, start painting pictures of women, you know, looking at you,
Embracing you,
well,
right? Looking
embracing you and just looking at you and smiling." And he started doing that, and then he started going on dates.
Oh my goodness.
He
That's
started going
amazing.
on dates, and
That's
I mean, of course, he wasn't just sitting in his room, you know, waiting for them to come, but he,
right.
you know, he was approaching them, and they were saying yes, because it changed
Yes.
his vibration, changed his energy. And
Wow.
then after a while, he said, "No, I wanna settle down. I want to just find one. I don't want to keep, you know, going on so many dates." And so she said, "Okay, we'll paint pictures of two people together, and you know, facing and smiling at each other." And shortly after that, I don't remember the time, but he was able to settle down to someone, to find someone that he wanted to be with. And I think that is totally
That's beautiful.
um,
Sounds really fun. Being a Feng Shui consultant can be really fun if you can get that kind of response. I think that's beautiful. So I want to
yeah.
make sure we're running out of time, but I want to just remind everybody that Connie works with overworked professional women. If you are one of those, she has an offer for you today, which is to schedule your Get Your Mojo Back discovery session. And I will put the links in the comments of all of the different locations where we are streaming this. But you want to get your mojo back, work with Feng Shui consultant Connie Knudson. And this is what you can see here on the bottom. It is Get Your Mojo Back Discovery Session.as.me. And again, I'll put that in the comments. And Connie, is there just one? I know you gave us the tip of abundance and the golden bowl in the center of the room. Is there anything else you'd like to leave our listeners and viewers with today?
Well, just keep an open mind about, you know, remember that everything is energy, and keep an open mind that there's different ways. If you're looking for abundance or less stress, keep an open mind, because there's lots of ways to do that. And I can provide you with a ton of ways to raise your vibration and bring in, well, reduce your stress as well, and increase your abundance. So that would be my pleasure. If you would like a free session, I would love to just explore with you some of the, what are your goals and what would you love to attract? And we'll look at what's holding you back, and then I'll map out a few, you know, a little mini plan to help you get there. So
Oh, I love that.
yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you here today. Connie Knudson, Feng Shui consultant, working with overworked, stressed out professional women so that you can really redefine your home and your life to the way that your energy is suited. And it's been a pleasure. We'll wave goodbye, everybody. Good to see you and hope to see you again. Feel free to reach out to us. And really, I think it's a wonderful opportunity to take Connie up on this complimentary session for you to get a mini plan of how to change the way your world is, really. So, all right, take care, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.